good evening, and thank you so much for having me here today. It is wonderful to be here. I love the enthusiasm and energy, and I have to give a shout out to Filomena, who is my constituent, and she lives in the 31st district. So, for those who don't know me, I am Delegate Elizabeth Guzman, and I proudly represent the 31st district in the House of Delegates, which includes parts of Prince William and Fauquier counties. I'm a social worker, a public administrator, a union sister, a mother to 4 children, an immigrant, and a fighter for working people and marginalized communities. And what you will be hearing much more about me next year, because I am running to become the first woman lieutenant governor and the first Latina immigrant. First things first, we only have 5 days to defeat Donald Trump, who has been a terrible president for Black and Brown people and for immigrants who came here for a better life like us. I came here from Peru as a 25-year-old single mother because my parents could not afford to send me to college. And I wanted to break that cycle so that one day my daughter would have a better life. I only had $300 in my pocket and a high school diploma when I got here. And now I have 2 master's degrees and I oversee a $20 million budget for a 200-person operations staff for the city of Alexandria, where Councilman Mo is going to speak in a few minutes. I met my husband Carlos here, who is also a Peruvian immigrant here in Virginia. We now have 4 children and have found our very own American dream. But the day after Donald Trump won in 2016, like we heard before, this is personal to our children. My son, who was only 9 years old back then, said, "Mommy, we have to leave and go back to your home country, Peru, because Donald Trump doesn't like people who speak Spanish." And that is what made me decide to run for office, because I wanted to show my children that they were American and that Guzman is an American name. But this president has put children who look like mine in cages, trying to ban our Muslim brothers and sisters from entering into this country. He demonized our community and defended the white supremacists in Charlottesville as very fine people. Meanwhile, it was immigrants, us, the essential workers, who have kept this country running in a pandemic. The people who have cooked our food and cleaned our buildings, the people who look like me and you, who have been disproportionately impacted by this pandemic. 7 out of 10 cases of COVID in Northern Virginia are Black or Latinx people. The number rises when we go to Richmond. We have gotten sick at higher rates, have been hospitalized at higher rates, have been killed at higher rates. And this president has lied about this virus and let people die because he had no plan to save jobs or save lives. But here's the good news. We have a superpower, and that is our vote. And we need to exercise that vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who herself is the daughter of immigrants. Biden has a plan for immigration reform on day one and has plans for healthcare so that no one has to pay $1 out of pocket for any treatment related to COVID-19. He will rebuild our economy and will get us out of this mess. And he will always value the contributions of immigrants like us, Black and Brown people, made in getting through this terrible year. And Joe Biden will invest big time in making our public colleges affordable so that your children can achieve their American dream. He will make college tuition free for all students whose families make less than $125,000. He will also double the maximum amount of Pell Grants and invest $70 billion in colleges that serve Black and Latinx students so that your children, our children, can achieve their dreams without going to crashing debt. And I only have 5 minutes, so the last thing I will say about Biden is that he's making an effort to reach out to more immigrants and people of color. My 20-year-old daughter just got a piece of bilingual mail from the Biden campaign, and that has never happened before. When I first ran for office, I was told that the Latinx community doesn't vote. And I literally had tears in my eyes to see that piece of mail. And I'm so proud of the Democratic Party because they care and has put me in a position of leadership within the party and on the Biden campaign. And I'm so proud to be a Democrat. So I'll just end by saying that voting is your superpower, and we have the power to decide this election and take back our country Your community in Northern Virginia and Richmond and all over Virginia has the power to determine the outcome of this election. Remember, our dignity is on the ballot. Our future is on the ballot. Our children are on the ballot. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will not let us down. So we cannot let them down. This is the first year in Virginia that you do not need an excuse to vote early. Thanks to your Democratic state majority. So please vote early. You have until this Saturday. And after you vote, I need you to get to your families, your moms, your dads, your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, your co-workers. Everyone need to know that they need to vote too. They can vote early until this Saturday. You need more information. Please go to iwillvote.com. And we have a saying in Spanish. In English is we vote, we win. In Spanish, we say cuando votamos, ganamos. I'm asking you to do everything you can to talk to your communities and help Joe and Kamala win next Tuesday, 6 more days. Thank you so much for having me.